Hi, darling. Are you going to join my church? The Church of the Wicked VAG?
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at, well, some really unique source material.
Yeah, we've got excerpts outlining the ethical guidelines from something called the Church of the Wicked Vag.
Right, and they call these guidelines the five preferments.
Preferments, not commandments.
Mm.
That's interesting already.
Exactly. And what immediately jumps out from the source is the tone. It describes it as casual, almost like suggestions, maybe even humorous sometimes.
Which is really surprising, isn't it? You
Yeah,
usually expect ethical codes to be, very solemn, very rigid.
totally. So our mission today, I guess, is to dig into these five preferments from the source material.
Right. Let's unpack what they actually say and try to grasp the core ethics of this Vaxtafarianism as it's presented here. We'll see how that unique tone plays out.
Okay, let's get into it. The first one. The source words it like this. I'd prefer you not to kill, maim, injure, or persecute anyone who does not agree with Vaxifarianism.
Hmm. And what's fascinating is how the source frames why. It connects this preference directly to encouraging humility and open-mindedness in followers.
So it's not just don't do this, it's tied to an internal quality.
Exactly. Like tolerance isn't just a behavioral boundary, it's something you should actually cultivate. And it explicitly contrasts this with rigid proselytizing, pushing inclusivity right away.
That is interesting. Linking a don't rule to a be this way goal, how does that tolerance idea carry over to other beliefs? That takes us to number two.
Spot on. The second point is, I'd prefer you to be tolerant of other religions, whether they be formalized or not. And your source is pretty direct about the challenges here.
Yeah, it mentions starting a new religion is tough, competing with older, richer ones, with centuries of brainwashing in their favor. That's strong wording.
It is. But then, like you said, it makes this quite bold claim that CIW has millions more followers.
And introduces that whole Venn diagram thing.
Right. The idea that, following another religion doesn't automatically mean you can't follow CIW. You can be in both circles, so to speak.
Ah, okay. So that's key to their inclusivity claim.
Seems like it. The main emphasis in this bit of the source is definitely advocating for kindness, for respect between people of different faiths. Don't use religion to hurt people.
Makes sense. Though that competition language still adds a little spice to how they see the religious world.
It does, yeah. Okay, so building on that tolerance, number 3 shifts the focus a bit more towards judging individuals.
Yes, preferment 3. I'd prefer it if you did not judge others too quickly.
And the reasoning given in the source is pretty fundamental, isn't it? Just states, all of us are flawed in one way or another, even you.
That direct, even you, really keeps that conversational tone going and grounding non-judgment in shared imperfection.
It's a great equalizer,
Yeah.
The source uses that to argue for acceptance, push against discrimination, respect diversity, all because, hey, nobody's perfect.
Right. Now, number 4. This is where the tone gets particularly memorable, I think.
Yes. I'd prefer it if you didn't act like a dick.
Implied chuckle. Definitely not your standard scriptural language.
No. But the source quickly unpacks it. It links that blunt phrase directly to, well, advocating for consensual, responsible behavior between adults.
So personal freedom, but also being ethical about it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Including really crucial stuff like knowing your limits with drinking and drugs and actually sticking to them.
Mhm.
It just cuts right to the chase on being responsible and how you interact with people.
It really captures that mix. The intro described casual words, serious point. Okay, finally, the 5th preferment.
Number 5. I'd prefer it if you treated all women with respect.
And this one, the source gets a bit more explicit in the why, doesn't it?
It does. It acknowledges that carnal desires can sometimes overwhelm logic, offers very practical advice based on prevention is better than cure,
Which is
basically. If you are in no state to treat a woman with respect, walk away. Super clear guidance.
very clear.
Yeah.
And there's that little note the source itself adds right after.
Yeah, the parenthetical comment saying this one might be more of a commandment than a preferment really underscores its importance in their view.
Absolutely crucial.
So if we look at all 5 of these preferments together, the overall feeling coming from your source material is this consistent focus on tolerance, respect, self-awareness, and taking personal responsibility.
Yeah, that seems right.
And it's all delivered not with fire and brimstone, but through these kind of casual, direct preferences, sometimes with humor, sometimes just blunt practicality.
So, thinking about the source, for you listening, what does this unique approach tell you? Presenting core ethics with this casual, almost colloquial tone, but hitting serious points like non-judgment and respecting women. How does that land?
It's definitely different.
And here's a final thought to maybe chew on, based purely on the source we looked at. Given how the Church of the Wicked Vag presents its core beliefs, using phrases like not acting like a dick, grounding things in shared flaws, offering practical advice like walk away, does this specific blend of, let's say, informal style and serious ethical content offer any insights? Insights into what? Into how ideas, maybe even really fundamental beliefs, could be shared or maybe understood more effectively, or just differently in the world we live in today. Just something to consider from this unique source.